Hello everybody and welcome back. How are we all doing? I hope that the recent videos that I've been putting up have not confused you too much and they have been relative to what we're doing. Anyway, so I've got a really great beer. Now I'm really excited and I've just spoke about this on Instagram. I'm really excited. We have a new logo and I am so excited because it's just been my face against me pint 365. We have a new YouTube and Instagram logo. It's been done by the fabulous AJ Higgins, who designed the beer can artwork for Verdant Brewery, particularly the one that I've called the Beer of the Year. You can look back on my YouTube videos and see it. It's called Sniffing the Wrong People. I was so taken aback by the artwork. There's such colourful, lovely, clean lines, the characters and everything. I couldn't stop myself from contacting AJ and asking if she would do a logo for the Spencer Arms. I threw some ideas at her. She just asked me and she's come up with what I believe to be fantastic. So I've just got to get used to how the images work because they're in different formats and everything else. There's a little character that I can pull off the page as well that at the minute we're calling Oaky. Because he is like an oak barrel. So, I don't know, Oaky, we might change it. I'm a bit annoying spinning this around, sorry. So, in order to celebrate the new sort of like Oaky character and the new Spencer Arms logo, I am having this bad boy from the Schlenkerla Brewery. Now, this is a very special one because as we know, the Schlenkerla Brewery is the home of the smoked beers. If you have a look, I've done the Raunch beer, with the yellow label, but what they do, they generally smoke their malts or they dry their malts over a real fire, and it's generally beech, I believe. Yeah, beech. It's generally beech. I know that, but I just checked. But sometimes they do different. So they've done cherry wood, they've done alder, and they've done oak. So this, I've not actually had this one, and I've had it a long while. And I'll probably get told off for this, but it was June 2024 that the date is. So, but I am confident this is sealed in here. It's been in the fridge ever since I've had it. It is going to still be banging. There's no doubt about it. It's an 8% Doppel Bock. So basically Doppel Bock, a Bock is sort of like big beer, like strong beer. This is like a double, wow. This is a double strength, like double Bock, like. Almost like we have like, you know, double IPAs and things like that. So basically a Bock beer is like a strong beer, and a Doppel Bock is like basically double strength, like double or bigger beer basically. Oh, I'm pouring, I don't know, am I pouring this? Wrong, felt a bit cack-handed there. No, I don't know. Feeling a bit weird. I think it's because it's probably got a handle. Right, look at this. Now, this looks like almost like an amber ale. This does. It's quite high up there. Hopefully, it won't fall off. So, in the glass, it is looking. It's looking probably a little hazy actually. So that could be because it's little. Could either be because it's a bit out of date. I should doubt it though, or it could be because there is a little bit of sediment in there and a little bit of bottle conditioning going on there. A little bit of live beer, a little bit of live yeast in there. It smells absolutely fantastic. It really does smell oaky smoky, but it smells sweet as well. You know, and you wouldn't believe how much. In fact, when I've done these smoked beers, it's really quite strange because I made this barrel bar out of a oak barrel, and I've planed and sawn oak for years. I mean, I've not done it for a long while now, but I've worked with oak. I've made oak doors, I've made oak windows, I've made oak skirting board, architraves, I've made oak mouldings and things. I know what oak smells like, but when I was machining this sort of out in the garden, using like, well, hand tools, sawing it, using an electric planer, but then finishing it off by hand and sanding everything else, I couldn't really smell oak as such. I could just smell sweet. I was saying to Janie, I'm making this barrel bar and all I can smell is booze. I could smell like a sweet booze, and it reminds me, when I have these smoked beers from the Schlenkerla Brewery, it reminds me of this, even the beach one. But like, do you know what? I really hope I ain't had this before, because I'm starting to think now, yeah, this smells like the barrel bar. So if I've had this before, I might put this up as a second time I've had this, out of date, Doppel Bock. See if it's different to the first one I did. Anyway, let's just get a little information from you. I've got it here, right? So Oak Smoke Doppelbock, Oak Smoke Malt instead of beech smoke. Doppelbock from oak wood kilned malt. Following century-old recipe, all malts made at Schlenkerla Brewery are dried by a wood fire. Can you imagine how much work goes into clearing all the beech out and to do an oak smoke one or an alderwood smoke one or the cherry smoke one? While for the classic Schlenkerla Orange beer, traditionally beech has been and still is used, the malt for Schlenkerla Oak Smoke is kilned with oak wood. The resulting oak smoke malt has a smoother and multi-layered smoky note than the intensity aromatic beech smoke malt. The hence complex smokiness in Schlenkerla Oak Smoked is paired with some sort of word, bitterness of finest halatoir aroma hops. With 8% alcohol and amber colour, it matures for months in the deep brewery cellars underneath the Bamberg, underneath Bamberg, into a special treat for smoked beer lovers, i.e. Speno. Right, so here we go. Yeah, oaky, smoky, lovely. Doesn't smell off at all. It's got no off smells to it at all. I don't care this is out of date, and even if you're screaming at me, I've drank beers that are 2 years out of date, or even more, that have tasted better. Old Original being one. We had some beer that was 18 months, 2 years out of date, and it was delightful. Right, cheers everybody. Oh yeah, there is that nice bitter hit from the hops, if that's what they're saying. Carbonation is still great. Mouthfeel is lovely. The intensity of the beer for me is absolutely fine, but I would imagine if you've not had any smoked beers before, you probably find it a bit overwhelming because it does hit you quite hot. It's absolutely lovely. I've just put a fire on up my house as well before I came out, because we've got a couple of log burners in there. And again, even though all the smoke goes up the chimney and you're not supposed to get it, depending what wood you burn, you can get different aromas within the room, which is strange really, because it's supposed to go up there, but they do say it doesn't matter. You know, especially I've burnt cedar, and cedar with its natural oils gives a really sweet aromatic smell. Probably because when you open the door, you get sometimes you can get a little bit of smoke out and it'll just linger, but this is lovely. I can imagine just drinking this on a really freezing cold day, sat in front of the fire. Yeah, it's got a very, very touch of like oaky astringentness, but with a sweetness that comes from it. It instantly balances that out, instantly cuts that off. So just as you drink it and you think to yourself like, oh, you've got a little bit of twang out the oak there, the actual sweetness gets rid of it. And I find these beers really resonant as well, because I think I've said it in the past on the other beers I've reviewed with this from this brewery, is if you drop a little bit of wood out your log burner onto the tile, onto the hearth, and leave it to sort of burn for a second, when you move it, it's left like an oily, tarry thing. Even though the wood is dry, you know, it's supposed to be less than 20% to burn in a log burner, so it's dry. You know, it's even drier than kiln dried wood. It still leaves this oiliness, and I feel that like you get that in these smoked beers. You get that. You get that real oiliness about the flavours, the malts. It's really chewy, you know what I mean? It's like, if you imagine this to be, have you ever had one of those, if you're a toffee lover, if you ever had like a really nice, top quality toffee, but it's quite hard when you first have it. There's lots of toffee where you have a toffee hammer, you know what I mean? And you break toffee. And you start to have it, but then you know when it warms up in your mouth and it starts to sort of like get pliable and then you can just literally suck it around your mouth and you can get that moorishness out of that toffee. Well, if you imagine this not being a toffee, although there is some sort of like that sweet, almost caramelly. The imagination is telling me all them mouth feels and that feel of a toffee, of a nice, caramelatic. That ain't even a word. What are you talking about, Speno? My wife always says to me, your analogies that I come up with, what I try to do, I'm drinking this beer, I know what it feels like, I know what it tastes like. I'm trying to get across to you to make you salivate, to think that sounds really interesting, to then go to your bottle shop, or, I mean, well, these are quite rare to be fair. You have to really look out for these. So, you know, if you go to, I would say Rainville stores, Beers of Europe are fantastic, but I think Rainville stores are probably just that little touch more specialist. Whereas, say, like Beers of Europe across the board, from all European beers right the way across the board, you'll probably find that some stores like Rainville, I think, will probably specialise a bit more in German beers. My bottle shop, and I use in Market Harbour, are fantastic. What you can't get in is, well, it's not worth having. And also Rainville stores online. I think it is Rainville. I'll tag them in this if I remember. They're fantastic for these type of beers. You know, I'm trying to think where I got this from. I think I got this from Murray at Clarendon Park, the Offie. So that's in the heart of sort of Clarendon Park in Leicestershire, right midway between the town centre and Wigston, where I am. Clarendon Park. It's quite a popular place now. It's right near Victoria. If you ever visit Leicester and you go to Victoria Park, it's right just in that area. Now he's brilliant. I probably got this from him because he's very good as well. I just can't I can't think of the best way to describe this other than, like I say, eating that moorish, probably like that molasses type of thing. This is very sweet, but I can't emphasize enough that it's not sweet as in horribly unnaturally sweet. It's got a really, really lovely moorish, beautiful resinous-y sweetness with the real sort of, there is a freshness that the hops bring. You know, like a sort of a lager freshness that them hops bring as well. This is just really deep and dark and malty, and you know, although it is an amber beer, an amber looking sort of colour, it's got beautiful conditioning on it. Absolutely lovely. It's one of those it's like I'm making love to this. Slowly, making love to it slowly, delicately, you know what I mean? Taking my time with it, making it last. It's yeah, and the smokiness doesn't really smack you in the face too much, for me anyway. I have seen some people review the Runch beer, the yellow label one, and it's like, whoa, the smokiness is massive. Now, for me, the smoky beer is something I discovered years ago. I mean, years ago, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it because now I don't want to diss a brewery at all, but I'm sure it was Bateman's. I'm not 100% sure, and we both had it. Me and my mate had it, and we drank it. It was like, what the hell is that? That's like drinking a tray. We both smoked. It was like drinking a bloody water ashtray. Like an ashtray with water in it. You know when you like, it rains and it gets all that, and it goes all that browny horrible colour, then you just imagine drinking that. It was like just pure fag ash. It was absolutely awful. It was probably peated, really badly peated, and just really burnt to a crisp. And it was just hideously horrible. So when someone says to me, you know, you want to try, well, I think it was actually Braybrook Brewery that did the smoked beer that I tried. They do a smoked beer, which is very, very good. And I thought, you know what, because they're local, and I went to the bottle shop and I seen it, and I thought, I'll try that. I thought, wow, that's amazing. And then when I went to see Murray, I think I told him about it, and I seen it on his shelf as well. And he says to me, well, if you like smoked beer, you want to try this, the Schlenkerla Brewery. And I've never looked back since. They're just absolutely amazing. And also as well, what gets me about with all the beers, I mean, when I went to the bottle shop the other week, I bought, let's say for instance this beer, which was the 4th beer on the encrypted little pin code thing that I'm doing, this Chubbles. This on the website when I just had a look, £12.95 for that can. And I'm not entirely sure how much I paid for it. I got it from a local sort of like corner shop that's got a craft beer fridge. But, you know, it's north of like 10, 11 quid for a can of beer. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a big beer. You know, you could pay £10 on like 4 cans of beer that I wouldn't feel was good value for money than doing 10 quid on 1 can. But you're talking about 12 quid for that can. That blows my mind a little bit. It does blow my mind. And it's one of the reasons why I work a lot of hours in order to be able to buy a can like that. If I just did a standard 37-hour week, I would not be able to enjoy half the stuff that I enjoy. So in order to enjoy it, you've got to go out and graft for it, ain't you? In my opinion. So yeah, so my overtime generally gets spent on beer and fun. But these beers, the German beers, when you actually look and break them all down, and especially if you go on, like, say, Beer Hunter the other day, I got 12 bottles of the Augustiner Oktoberfest beer for 44 quid, which is about $3.74 a bottle, I think. Alexa, what's 44 divided by 12?
44 divided by 12 is approximately 3.6667.
3.6667. £3.66 and a bit. For a fantastic Oktoberfest 6.3% Augustiner beer. I mean, it's a bargain, isn't it? I mean, honest to God, German beers, like the importers that bring them into this country in the mass full. I can't. To be honest with you, I do apologise because you might be watching. I can't even think of his name now because I do know one of the guys who imports them in. He has to import them in by the truckload, the absolute truckload, because Germany, I'm only quoting this from what just I can remember. They won't allow you to just buy 1 case or whatever. You've got to buy a certain amount of beer to get it in. So they will sell you a lorry load of beer to bring it into this country. So you're buying a lorry load, they're doing it at a good price, he's selling it onto a bottle shop at a good price, and they're selling it onto us at a good price. Everybody makes a little bit, but the end result in, you're getting these beers for less than 4 quid. And yet, you know, you can put craft beers at 6, 7, 8 quid a can now. And I do think that's probably why I'm hearing the craft beer market struggling a little bit, because people are sort of, especially with the hazy ales and things, a lot of people I'm hearing are saying, well, they all taste the same. Well, I don't agree with that personally, because I just think that, like, yes, you can get 2 beers exactly the same hops in, but it's the way the breweries use the hops, it's the way they add their malt, their own yeast and all that makes it a different type of beer. You know, it's not like you know, how can I put it? You know, like with cooking, some people can use the same ingredients but produce a completely different dish. So I don't agree. I think that if you get the right craft beer, there is a lot to bring to the table from different breweries, and good breweries as well. But this beer is absolutely superb, and for the money that it costs for the German beer, there's nothing like German beer in the world. I don't think there's just nothing for me. I think the German beer is the best in the world. The quality of the water is outstanding, although some of our British brewers now are brewing some fantastic lagers. They're getting the pH quality of the water, or whatever they have to do to the water to get it right. They're fantastic. I mean, even over at Thornbridge, their water's naturally soft, and they bring some beautiful beer, and their Hefeweiss beer that they've done, the Pilsner they've done is fantastic, you know. But then on the flip side, they're hardening, they're putting gypsum in the water to bring the Union, to bring the Burton Snatch. So they know good breweries know what to do with the water to make it right. But German beer comes from that natural underground, bored right down, sucked out the ground, beautiful, clean, mineral quality is fantastic of the water, and it just makes for the best beer in the world. Anyway, what more can I say? Beautiful. Now I've nearly finished this. The 8% ain't even touching the sides. It's so moreish, Such a beautiful mouthfeel. It's sticky, it's resinousy, it's fresh from the hops. It's beautiful and oily with the burnt sort of like the burntness in the malts that have brought out some fantastic flavours. It's absolutely decadent. Is that the word? This is an absolute stunning hashtag Speno waffle. 10 out of 10 beer, gets it all day long. And it really reminds me of this barrel. So this is a celebration of the new Spencer Arms logo, which is got all to do with our arms, the love that we share, the love that we give out, the welcoming arms into the Spencer Arms. Anybody that knows us knows that you're always welcome. And the fact that this bar here, the barrel bar, is made from an oak barrel, an oak whiskey barrel actually. And yeah, oh, I wonder what oak it was that they were burning, because you've got like English oak, American oak. The finish on the beer is incredible. It's lovely slight bitterness as well. God, don't I just flip off on a tangent. Anyway, this has been a Speno waffle. Prost to all our German friends out there. I do chat with the Schlenkerla brewery. If I message them on Instagram, on their page, they always message back. They are very, they communicate. If I share it, they'll share it on their thing. And it's not just for me. I think they just do that. I think they appreciate people enjoying their beer. They're a lovely brewery, and they do answer questions. And their website, if you check out their website, there's a load of information on there, and it's all in English as well, so you can read it. It's absolutely fantastic. And trust me, if I've had this beer before, I'm going to have a look back on my review, and I'm going to put this review out. Right, I've been Speno. This has been the Schlenkerla Brewery 8% Doppel Bock Oak Smoked beer. Absolutely fantastic. There it is. Beautiful. So yeah, go and head over there and look in your bottle shop, see if you can find it. And have a really great day, whatever you're doing. If it's at night, have a lovely evening. If it's in the morning, have a lovely morning. If it's the weekend, have a great weekend. But whatever you're doing, stay safe, live, laugh, love. Just keep smiling and everything will be all right. Cheers. I'm in Speno. Thank you very much for watching. And if you would like to, and I really never really ask this too much, because I just find it, I just want people to do it off their own back, but I'd love it if you would subscribe. I'd love to get to 1,000 subscribers. I really would. It'd like really be quite an achievement, I think. Okay, take care everybody. I'm in Speno. Be good. Cheers.